breast cancer is the most common form of cancer in the UK, with nearly half of women diagnosed having a mastectomy. Kelle, this I know is something you've been researching a lot for the latest Hollyoaks storyline, and it's a tough one to take on, isn't it? Because you're obviously living so many real-life stories to try to get into character, and yeah.
Definitely. I mean, when I was asked, I was taken aside by the producers to say, look, this is what we'd like you to do next. And obviously it then involved, you know, hair loss and stuff. There were lots of triggers and similarities of what I've been through with lupus. So there were lots of things that they were, like, concerned that, you know, might be a concern for me. So I've literally lived it for the last 18 months. You know, I'd go to work to cry. And so it was a very odd kind of thing for me to get used to. And Brenda was an incredible support throughout the storyline. So basically, Martine gets diagnosed with breast cancer. It's so funny because I'm feeling literally it's my right breast, and whenever I start to talk about it, I start to feel a little bit uncomfortable there. Obviously, for me, it's acting, but I know for lots of women out there, it's very, very real. So yeah, Brenda was brilliant. She mentored me throughout the storyline to make sure that I was accurate as possible. And what's different about Martine's approach is that she, you know, once she's had the mastectomy, she doesn't want to have reconstruction. She kind of takes hold of through doing an art thing where she's doing it for charity. She decides to take that empowerment back and not have the mastectomy and be happy with
reconstruction. You mean?
Thank you, reconstructive surgery, and find that kind of power within herself. I think we're going to have a little look.
Very, very moving, Kelle, isn't it? And I know...
Well done, yeah.
I know, it's not an easy thing to portray at all. And, like, you were just talking about Brenda there, and she was so incredibly supportive and helpful because she wanted you to get this so right.
Yeah, I mean, I felt awkward asking her because I didn't want her to have to relive anything. It was difficult enough the first time without me having to ask her these kind of intrusive questions. But I think I just really... And she was so generous, and she's such a beautiful human being anyway. But she just was really, like, just things that I really wanted to be accurate about, you know, how would I be able to do this straight after surgery? How did you feel during this particular moment? I just wanted to pay the storyline as much respect as I possibly could.
She's very matter-of-fact as well, though, isn't she, Brenda? So
very much so.
It's like she'll just tell you exactly how it is. I mean, most women will, but I know a lot of women who have been through it who don't like to talk about it, and they don't want to talk about it because, I mean, once you get over it, I've been over it now for, I don't know, 2014, so it's 8 years nearly. And I don't think about it all the time. I try not to, but there is a constant reminder with the scar from the mastectomy. And I had no choice but to have that mastectomy, and it was a full mastectomy. So there's a scar, there's no tissue. And to have the reconstruction, it's a massive, massive thing. The operation is huge because it's not just the case of having an implant put in. With me, it's like they've got to remove flesh from somewhere else in my body, and they've got to keep it alive for about 4 hours while I'm under a general anaesthetic and make sure that the blood vessels have reconnected and, you know, to keep it going. And it's really hard. It's about a 12, 13-hour operation, I think, and then it's a long, long recovery. It's a good month, 2 months recovery. And ever since I had the mastectomy, which was in 2014, I've wanted to have the reconstruction because I want my body to look what I would think would be normal again. I don't like the idea of that part of me missing and being so asymmetrical. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to do it because I don't want to put myself through it just in case the cancer comes back. Yeah. Because it's always a risk. And if it comes back, like, you know, the month after I've been in hospital for 2 months, I don't know. I don't know. I can't square that. So women do stress about it, but the way that your character there just took hold of the way her body looked is really quite admirable, and it's something that I can't get past that. I can't stand there and say, look, I'm really proud of my scar because it shows my strength. It just shows that I was unlucky enough to have to go through that, and a lot of women are. So, it is a good storyline and well done.
Thank you. I think we've been working a lot with Black Women Rising, which is a charity that deals with, you know, trying to get women to that point where they can look at themselves, embrace themselves, and feel okay with looking at themselves in that way, so that it does, like your word, normalise that reconstruction isn't in the back of their heads as a I have to. It's a, OK, I'm happy with this, and if I want to, I will. You know what I mean? Rather than feeling like, you know, like I have to have reconstruction to feel normal. I have to have reconstruction to feel better.
Well, you have to accept it. You have to accept the way it looks if you don't want to have that massive operation. But you don't really ever get used to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you feel like it affects you then when you're getting dressed and things, when you go to the beach and?
Yeah, it does. Of course it does. I don't like looking at myself like that. I know, and that's going to sound really sad.
No.
But I don't. And I used to be really proud of my body. I used to walk around naked all the time. You know, I was never a supermodel, but I did. But I also go to the beach. I wear bikinis. I've worked out what bikinis I can wear. They're not specially designed masectomy bikinis. They're just bikinis that cover things up. And there's a
But you look
prosthetic.
great there. There's nothing there that I even... My eye's not drawn to anything. But for you, it's such a massive thing. You probably look at that and that's all you see.
Well, getting in a swimming pool is not, you know, it's not that easy because sometimes the prosthetic might come out or something. You know, you're always kind of aware of that and making sure that you've got the right sort of swimwear on that covers up the obvious bits of, not scars, but where the tissue has been taken away because it looks completely different. But, you know, I'm not complaining. I'm alive, for crying out loud. So I'm happy with that. But I think about it all the time, getting the reconstruction. Every time I look in the mirror and I think, yeah, I should get it. But then I think, no, I'm not going to get it. I can't be bothered. I want to go on holiday. You know what I mean? So there's all those things, and it's a tough one, I think, for some women.
They're both hard, aren't they? You're
Yeah.
looking at yourself and feeling uncomfortable and having to think about it all the time, or you're going to have to put yourself through something that you know is not going to be
easy.
nice.
So many of you getting in touch just as you're speaking there, Carol. Barbara says, I had a mastectomy 11 years ago and I didn't even think about reconstruction. I was just glad to be here. Liz says, love Carol so much. There's a lot of love for you here, Carol. I had breast cancer in July 2020. I'm on the road to recovery. A positive attitude helps. And lots of people just talking about different ways of making themselves feel like their old selves, accessorising with scarves and just doing different things to make you feel like
and also, it's really important that, you know, Mark is, you know, he's just a diamond. He always says to me, why would you put yourself through that? You know, and it would be for me. It's definitely not for him, and he doesn't even notice most of the time.
So having that support's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Having a supportive partner is huge. Well, your partner in Hollyoaks.
Yeah, my husband, played by Richard Blackwood, he's incredibly supportive and doesn't fade.
So that's important.
It is. Yeah, it's very good. Thank you, Carol and Kelle. I know it's not easy.